back to my channel. If you're new around here, my name is Alisha and today we are making a caramel poke cake. So it's going to be a sheet of cake, it's going to be a brown sugar sponge. We're going to pop some holes in it and make some homemade caramel sauce, which is my favourite thing. Pour some caramel in the holes, cover it with salt caramel buttercream, and it's going to taste delicious. So the first thing you want to do is make your sponge. I'm using the all-in-one method for this because I want it to be a really quick cake. So I've got brown sugar here, butter, eggs, and I'm doing this gluten-free, so I've got some gluten-free self-raising flour, xantham gum and some baking powder. And I'll leave all the quantities in the description box, and then we're going to mix this for about a minute or two until it's all come together and nice and creamy, pale and fluffy. Then you want to add in your milk and vanilla extract. And then give that a mix for another 30 seconds to a minute. And that is your mixture finished. I've just scraped everything off the paddle and scraping everything off the sides and bottom, making sure it's all fully combined. And we can pop it in our tin. So I have greased and lined an 8 by 10 inch rectangle tin here. I'm going to pour the batter in. And then just level it all off, pushing it to the edge and sides. And that is ready for the oven. I love brown sugar sponges because it's going to give that really nice caramelly texture, which is going to go obviously with the caramel sauce. So my oven is preheated at 160 degrees Celsius, that's for a fan-assisted oven. I'm going to bake it for about 25 minutes. Stick a skewer in after 25 minutes, and if it comes out clean, it is ready to come out of the oven. And whilst the cake's in the oven, I am going to get on and make the caramel sauce. Okay, so I have some caster sugar in a nice big pan. I'm going to pour over some water, and as I said, I'll leave all the quantities in the description box. Then you just want to give that a little stir around in the pan so it all comes together. Then we're going to pop it on a medium heat and let that come to a nice amber colour, and it is going to take a little while. It's going to take about 10 minutes, but you don't want to leave it because it can turn very, very quickly. And then I have got some double cream, some salt and some vanilla, so I'm just going to give that a little stir. And some butter in here as well, and you just want to make sure everything's ready. I've also got this to put the pan on because we're going to stir in the cream off the heat. So you want either a towel or a heatproof mat or something to put your pan on. And then we just wait. The key to this is not to stir it. If you stir it, it's going to crystallise. So you just want to leave it as it is, and then every so often you can just give it a swirl around in the pan just to keep everything moving. As you can see, it starts getting thicker and thicker, and this is the time where you really need to keep an eye on it, because in a couple of minutes it is going to be nice and amber, but if you leave it too long it will burn and taste really bitter. So you might be able to see around the edge it's starting to go amber, so that is a good sign that we are getting close. I think we are nearly there. Just give it another stir, and you just want it to be amber colour all over, not just around the sides. And if you give it a stir, obviously it reduces the bubbles so you can see the real colour of it, and I think we are just about there. Yep, so I'm going to take it off the heat and pop it on my mat. So now we can pour in a cream. So you need to stir this continually. You just want to put a tiny bit in first, give it a stir, and then pour the rest in. And just keep stirring it and stirring it. And just be really, really careful because this is boiling hot caramel. And sometimes it clumps up like this, and it's absolutely fine because we're going to pop it back on the heat, and when we do, it is going to get rid of the clump. So just make sure you got everything out of your bowl, your jug even. Then we're going to pop it back on the heat. Trying to put it on a low heat and get it stirring. If you've got any stuck at the bottom, you can just get a spatula and just push it off, just being really, really careful. Turn your heat right down, and we're going to start adding the butter in. So you just want to add in a little bit at a time and make sure you keep stirring it. And once all your butter's melted in, you just want to turn it up slightly, get it bubbling again for a couple of minutes, and then that is your caramel done. And once it's been bubbling for a couple of minutes, you can take it off the heat. And then you can pop it in a bowl to help it cool down quicker. So the cake has come out of the oven, it's been cooling down and it's turned for about 20 minutes. So I'm just going to tip it onto a cooling rack, gently peel the grease bit of paper off, and let that cool on a cooling rack. We've got our lovely caramel sauce here, which is cooling down nicely. Just give it a stir every so often. And it should be cool enough for me to taste it now, so I'm going to get a little bit off the spatula. Oh, I love caramel sauce. Especially homemade, it's just the best thing. So, whilst those two things are cooling down, I've made a mess. I am going to make the salted caramel buttercream. So it's basically the same method as any other buttercream. I'm doing it with an electric hand mixer instead of this because I'm only using a little bit of butter. But I've got some soft unsalted butter here, which I'm going to whisk for about 5 minutes until it's nice and silky and pale. Then you can add in your icing sugar in 2 stages. I like to mix mine with a spatula just so it doesn't go all over my kitchen. I mean, it still will, but hopefully it'll lessen the effect. Then give it a mix for about 3 minutes. And then add in your other half and repeat the process. So I've just scraped all of the buttercream off the whisks, and then I'm going to add in the caramel. So I'm going to add in between 2 and 3 tablespoons. We'll start off with 2. I'm going to make sure the caramel's nice and cold before you do this, otherwise it's going to melt your butter. And then just give it a good mix together. Give it a little taste. A bit more, I think. So add in another tablespoon. again, give it a good mix. Then I like to add in a little bit of milk and vanilla just to loosen it up. So again, you want to add this in slowly. There we go. And that is the buttercream complete, nice and silky. I'm going to pop this to one side, clear everything away, and then we can start assembling everything. So, first step is to make some holes in the poke cake, hence poking it. So I've got a wooden spoon and I'm just going to push into the cake. Then we want to pour the caramel into these holes. You can do it with a teaspoon, but I am going to do it with a, well, I say a piping bag, but I ran out of piping bags, so I've just got a sandwich bag here. Pop it in a cup, well, a glass, and then pour your caramel in. Then grab your caramel, tilt it to one side. This is if you're using a sandwich bag, by the way. So you just tilt it to one side. Try and get the air out. Then we're just going to make a cut. I can't do it left-handed. Swap over. So it is trickier, obviously, with a sandwich bag, but it's doable. And then just start pouring your caramel in. Oh, I say it's doable, I'm not doing a very good job here. It's a lot easier with a sandwich bag, let's say that. With a piping bag. As you see, it will start sinking into the holes, so I'm just gonna grab it and give it a bit of a jiggle, and then any holes that need topping up, you can do so. And again, just give it a little jiggle. Just scrape it over with a palette knife and make sure all the holes are nice and filled. And then you can start topping it with our buttercream. Just give your palette knife a quick wipe. And start spreading your buttercream over. Now if you want to put the cake back in the tin at this stage, you can do if you find that easier. I'm just going to push it towards the edges. Scrape the excess buttercream off. I'm just going to drizzle some more caramel on. And that, I mean, it's very messy, but that is your poke cake complete. So now it's taste test time. Let's cut a little bit out. There we go, and luckily we've found a little hole with a gap in it. It's full of caramel. Taste test time. Oh, caramel goodness. Oh, that's literally heaven on a plate. Delicious. So yummy. Anyway, I'm gonna stop eating now. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.